Previously on Gears.
Hello?
Gary! Hello, my friend.
How are you?
I'm very well, and yourself?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. Gary, let's talk Chinese Grand Prix from yesterday. You got to say a commanding victory for Fernando Alonso and Ferrari, and it puts them in a really good position, Gary. I mean, we haven't seen this kind of performance from Ferrari in a really straight-out race situation for the last couple of years.
No, look, you're 100% right. I mean, we all knew the car was a lot better than last year. I mean, that was a no-brainer. But I think yesterday they came to the fourth, and then Alonso qualified the car well up there in third place, and we saw the car looks after his tyres well, and there was the result. So it's a great race for Fernando. And I think really now, people know what he did last year. I think people are worried. The other drivers and teams are saying, well, Ferrari are now here.
Yeah, I think they are right up there, but I think you also can't discount the one team that maybe didn't get their podium yesterday. That is Red Bull. They still look incredibly quick, especially in the hands of Vettel.
No, certainly so. Look, I mean, you can never discount Sebastian Vettel and the Red Bull team. I mean, they are going to be quick. I mean, starting down where they did yesterday on an alternate tyre strategy, chose to use the harder tyre, and, it did work out okay for them. I mean, had he had another lap, he may have been able to pass Hamilton. Perhaps the tyres would have gone up for them, we don't know. But look, I mean, still a strong result.
Yeah, a very strong result for Vettel. Lotus, you got to say, great result for Kimi Raikkonen. Although he did have damage to the car, he says he could have gone a little bit quicker. I'm not sure if he would have been able to challenge Alonso, because Alonso came out and said he still had a lot that he could have done as well.
Yes, you've got to believe it's the case. And also, if you look at the type of damage that Kimi had in his car, it's only really the front tip of the nose. So, everything else did seem to be intact. So I'm not sure as to just how much time he actually lost there. But a little bit frustrating, I suppose. He also qualified up in second place and possibly thought he could have done a bit better. But it just shows you yesterday your timing and your pit stops had to be perfect. If you were caught behind somebody, whoever it was in the traffic, you lost important time.
Gary, looking at the second drivers for the teams, and when I say the second drivers, I mean it with the greatest respect. Looking at Ferrari, yeah. Felipe Massa looked so good during the weekend, looked so good also in the first stint yesterday, but all of a sudden, mid-race and on the harder compound tyre, the medium tyre, just didn't seem to have that kind of pace. We saw that with him, we saw that with Romain Grosjean, and then for the limited time, we saw that with Nico Rosberg as well.
Yeah, look, I think in Massa's case, he really lost out big time, with staying out extra lap. Alonso had the call to go in first, which most teams do if the leading driver has the position. And then it obviously dropped him, the drop-off was big in the tyre, so he lost a lot of time and then dropped him into the field. And I think also got stuck behind people, got caught behind the rest for a long time, and I think that's what it killed his race. So I sort of feel that Massa had a better car than what his results were yesterday. I think actually quite unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate. Gary, I suppose the big talking point about yesterday, and we spoke about it at length yesterday on TV, is the tyre situation in terms of the soft and the medium tyres. Now, it lended itself to a very, very exciting race, some great strategy calls from the various teams as well. The one thing that does concern me, a tyre that only lasts 5-6 laps, that to me is a little bit too problematic.
Yeah, I think Pirelli possibly wouldn't have thought the tyre would last that long. But, it's very difficult to get all the sums right at the beginning of the year. You do go testing and have a test team that's out there. But, you arrive at a circuit, the track conditions change all the time, weather conditions come into play. So all that, it's very hard. So, but needless to say, it still gave us a good race. But yeah, you're right. Possibly 10, 12 laps on a set of tyres is probably what everybody's looking for. It'll also allow the drivers to attack a lot harder for a longer period of time. So yeah, look, I'm still in support of Pirelli. I still think they're giving us good racing. I think if you owned any other racing series in the world, you're looking at Formula One saying, well, maybe we need to adopt this two-tyre compound deal because it's certainly working. And people are watching because the racing is good.
Well, listen, I mean, we know that it's coming in DTM as well, so they definitely been watching. Jenson Button, you got to say, in a car that, yes, they know that it's got problems. It's not going to be even that much better this week coming up to Bahrain. But you got to say a very, very strong result for Button. Although, I must say, I think he stayed out a little bit too long on that second set of tyres.
Yeah, you had to time it right, and you had to, work out just as to how much time you were going to lose, staying out on a certain set of tyres versus going in and putting on a fresher set and negating some of the time you're going to lose. But, each team's got their strategy. Theirs didn't work out yesterday. Sometimes we sort of look at the TV and we kind of understand what's going on and wonder why people are doing what they're doing. But, the team obviously has the data at their fingertips, and that was the best way for them to go. So, Jensen, you also feel did miss out because of that. Dragged the car out there as did Vettel. It could have possibly been stronger, but ifs and buts don't count in racing.
You got to say, stars of the race yesterday: Danny Ricciardo for Toro Rosso, Paul Di Resta for Force India, and Nico Hulkenberg for Sauber. The three of them all getting in the points there, and the fact that Ricciardo and Di Resta ahead of Grosjean in the Lotus.
Yeah, look, that's big. Look, I think there's an issue with Grosjean's car somewhere along the line. We also said it yesterday. I think you'll probably find that he'll have a new tub at his disposal at the European rounds or something. The gap's a little bit too big between him and Raikkonen, but we'll see what happens there. But Ricciardo, he was a standout yesterday. Fantastic race, fantastic qualifying for him. That's the kind of performance that we expect to see these young Red Bull drivers, do, because they're obviously chasing that seat, which is more than likely Mark Webber is going to vacate.
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of rumour that Webber signed a 5-year deal with Porsche already to go and race next year, but just speculation at the moment. Disappointments yesterday, Gary. Got to say, the Williams team, Bottas and Maldonado, in qualifying, they were both very, very poor. And in the race, that Williams, compared to what it was last year, sure, they've gone backwards.
They have, and also from testing. The car was quick in testing. It looked pretty good. Arrived in Australia with the updates, which have just sent them backwards, and they haven't been able to get their best foot forward again. So very disappointing for the team. And every year, you really Williams. Is a great name in Formula One, a winning team, winning championships, and it's actually quite sad to see them in the situation. But look, let's see what happens there. And they've got good people, and hopefully they can turn that around. I think Bottas, for me, has been the driver that hasn't performed as well. It was always quicker than Maldonado last year in FP1 when he drove the car, and he just hasn't been able to match that performance.
Yeah, so far, and I rate the guy so highly as well. Other disappointments, Gary, and is there pressure on him now? It's got to be Sergio Perez, the McLaren driver.
I think the pressure is on him from the moment he signed that contract. It's very easy for us to say, this team and that driver is not as good as this one, and you're comparing drivers and calling it by tenths of a second. But, I just don't believe that Perez was ready at that point in time for a seat like McLaren, and the pressure. He never scored a point from the time he signed the contract at Sauber, and things haven't been going well for him either. In the races. So, I feel the pressure's on there, and the team, I think, no doubt, in the next couple of races will start to apply the pressure, and certainly expect a lot more, or certainly better results.
Yeah, but a great victory for Fernando Alonso. We look forward to this weekend in Bahrain, Gary. It could quite well be that we look at Ferrari versus Red Bull versus Lotus versus Mercedes again.
Well, I think so. I think those are the four teams that are in the fight. The top four drivers in those teams are in the championship hunt. So, we can certainly look out for it. Obviously very hot, very dusty in Bahrain. It's going to come down to tyre wear as well, like it always does. But, Ferrari have been strong there in the past, and Fernando Alonso in particular. So, let's see if they can carry that forward and, start notching up the points. Fernando needs another big one. The last race, the DNF that he had, certainly hurt his championship.
Yeah, it definitely did. Amazing stat yesterday. Alonso, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Vettel, Button. That's how it finished, 1st to 5th, all 5 world champions.
Yeah, well, this is what it's about, isn't it? They're not world championships winners for nothing.
That's for sure. All right, Gary, I'll see you on Wednesday on Absolute F1, my friend.
Cool, thanks for the call.
All right, take it easy.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo on bulls.co.za.